recovery. I mean, do you think that that this may become more commonplace down the road, and do you think you're setting the template for that right
now? I think that there's, I think there's probably better information about recovery and performance than there's ever been. I think people are really getting a better understanding of it than when I started playing football. So it's just about making good decisions on a daily basis. And I think you have to really make a commitment to doing it. So will this become a trend? It really just depends on the commitment level of an athlete. If you're not that committed or you don't love it that much, you're not going to put as much time and energy into it. I think if you have a great level of commitment and then you actually can use great protocols for how to recover, then yeah, certainly. And I think, for me, I learned at a young age how to begin to take care of myself and try to repeat those things and got better at them over the years and was really able to do what a lot of people do with their jobs. You improve over time. So, I'm just happy to be playing and excited for the game this Sunday. We got a great opponent. Drew's an incredible quarterback. We know they got a great offense, but they got a really talented defense, a lot of good young players, a lot of good veteran players. It's a good mix. It's a really sound scheme. So it's going to be a great football game.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Next is Jim Lane.
Hey, Tom. Kind of along those same lines, Drew yesterday said that he's on borrowed time and he says, I've got nothing to lose, so I'm turning it loose and letting the chips fall where they may. You guys are obviously in different situations, right? He's been in New Orleans forever. You're in a new place, but do thoughts like that enter your mind as you approach this week? Do you kind of think about your own football mortality, or are you just so focused on the fact that everything around you right now is new?
Yeah, for me, it feels like football. So, I think it's very much like a game week that I've been accustomed to for a long time. The difference is there's a lot of things that, are new in terms of it's the first game. So the processes that we go through and how to prepare on first down, second down, third down, in the red zone, all the different situations that come up. We're talking about them for the first time, and it's not a preseason game. So I think those things are important, and they're an important part of the process, but we just didn't have them this year. So, I think we realized there's going to be some a learning curve associated with how to get up to speed and how to be at our best. And, I think we're putting in the time every day to try to make those corrections and try not to make corrections day after day after day, but to learn from our mistakes so that we can be better the next time we take the field.
And also yesterday, Coach Payton said that he's a big fan of TB12's water, and that I guess he was receiving a lot of emails. And so he asked you to maybe tone it down a little bit. And he said that they actually picked up. And I'm just wondering, did you up the spam a little bit more this week just in the spirit of competition? And is that something we can look forward to every time you guys face off against the Saints?
That's right. We've known each other for quite a long time. We actually have the same agents. So, I like Coach Payton a lot. He's a great football coach. He's done a great job for them. So happy he's taken some advice from me over the years.
Okay, next up, we're going to have James Palmer.
Tom, you knew when you were going to Tampa that the exact number of hours until kickoff. So, could you kind of recap that whirlwind of trying to learn everybody as quickly as possible? And what was it like? And was it difficult now that you're at the finish line?
Yeah, we got one more day of practice before we play a game. So I think that kind of hit me today that, we've had a lot of these practices leading up to, and you kind of just finish practice, then you go and you watch the tape and then you get ready for the next practice. And I think the reality hit me today that we're actually getting ready to play a game. And it's no longer just, another practice tomorrow. We got, live contact, live football, real results. And, it's something I haven't done in 9 months. So, we're going to have to learn quickly and, just get up to speed as quickly as possible. I think the first quarter of the game is probably going to be new for everybody, just getting our feet wet and understanding the speed of the game will be a little faster than what it's been in practice. Hopefully I can recall some of the things I've done over a period of time and go out there and try to play, a real solid football game against a great football team.
And after the scrimmage, you kind of told us, I don't want to use the word concern, but you kind of said the communication and the nonverbal communication was something that was on your mind. How much have you guys worked on that since the scrimmage, and how much has that changed and moved forward?
Yeah, definitely. I think we're constantly working at it. I don't think we're going to be done with that anytime soon. I think we're going to learn a lot over the course of the season. And, the only thing you got is today, to learn from today and our practice today, what we did, what we didn't do right, and then try to correct it for tomorrow. And then we're going to play a game, and, we're going to figure out what we're good at and we're not good at. And I wish we knew those things right now, but I think the reality is we don't know what we're very good at. We don't know what we're not good at, but we're going to try some things and we're going to see how it looks under real competition. This is the first time this 2020 team's had a chance to perform and compete together. There's a lot of different parts. And, some guys are going to have great years. Some guys are going to have, years that they wish maybe they had better years. And we got to figure out, quickly what, we can repeat consistently at a very high level to beat good football teams. And you don't know it until you go do it. And everyone can hypothesize and predict and so forth. But, we get a chance to actually go out there and do something about it.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Next is going to be Greg Allman.
Greg left the
We'll
chat.
We'll go over to Ed Encina.
Hi, Tom. You talk a lot about, the game week, football's football, but obviously there's a certain level of anticipation with week one, right? What is Tom Brady like, going into week one, just to kind of how you are, what you think about, and is this time around going to be different just because it is, so many new things, new team, all of that?
Yeah, I think there's, again, for me, I try to, my typical routine and figure out, how my body feels, where I'm at mentally, my opponent's study and so forth. A lot of the mental stuff I've never had to put a lot of effort into is kind of just there. I think this is the first time where I'll be going into a game with, a lot of different information and trying to understand, how we're going to relate to a lot of the different things we're going to see. So, I'm just trying to work as hard as I can at it and, talk to my coaches, talk to my teammates so we can all be on the same page. But it's a big challenge because there's no margin of error when you play great football teams. And the Saints, have proven themselves to be that for a long time. They got, very good offense, great defense, very well prepared. They don't beat themselves. We're going to have to go play a great football game. And again, there's going to be a lot of us are getting to know each other the first time on game day. So I've watched a lot of these guys, my teammates play, they've watched me play, but now we're actually going to be on the same field doing, trying to accomplish the same goal. So we're going to have to try to, get up to speed as quickly as possible.
And you talk about the adjustments that everyone kind of has to make. I know you're talking the other day, last time we talked to you about the pumped in crowd noise, no ebbs and flows. Is that something that just you're going to have to figure out as you go along? I know you've tried to prepare for it, but is it something that you're just going to have to kind of figure out as you go along?
Yeah, I think definitely we're going to have to, figure this out as we go. I don't think there's no one really is sure, what it's going to be like on the road with an empty stadium. I think everyone will be watching tonight to kind of see how the flow of the game goes. And, ultimately the team that's going to win is the one that executes the best. So it doesn't matter if there's, 2 million people in the stands or if there's nobody in the stands. The team that's going to win is the team that goes out there and does their job, does their assignment, makes the plays with good fundamentals, plays together, communicates well. I mean, all the things that it takes to be a great football team on a consistent basis. So ultimately, we just have to be able to focus on what our job is and not, who's in the crowd or who's, not in the crowd. It's going to be a football game once that ball kicks off, and we'll all be locked in, ready to go, and understanding that all these games count. And, we got a tough division opponent right off the bat. So I think everyone's really excited, and we'll have to go out there and be at our best on Sunday.
Thank you.
Okay, next up is going to be Scott Reynolds.
Hey, Tom, you've certainly gone up against your share of today's elite AFC quarterbacks lately, and Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Deshaun Watson. What are your thoughts on the quarterbacks that you'll face this year in the NFC South with you joining this division. You've talked some about Drew, who you'll face on Sunday, but Teddy Bridgewater coming up in week 2 and Matt Ryan, who you faced in the Super Bowl already.
Well, I think, I'm really thinking about the Saints. I'm not thinking about anyone else. So, we got a great opponent, and, I know our defense is preparing hard. They're preparing hard for a really great quarterback this week. That's the only one that really matters. We got a tough task. So whenever those games are played, those are played, but this one is the most important one. And, I think all my energy is focused on that.
Sure. And part of learning Bruce Arians' playbook, the terminology, the language, if you will, is probably forgetting a little bit about the Patriots. Have there ever been any instances in practices where you go up to the line, you're making a check, and all of a sudden Patriots verbiage comes out instead of a Buccaneer verbiage?
Yeah, I think there's, naturally a way that is, your body just does things a certain way that it's done it for a long time without you having to think. And a lot of being a great athlete is not thinking. So the more you're thinking, it's actually slower than if you were just reacting and anticipating. So we're working through that. I don't think, like I said, it's my first game. It's my first chance to play. So, we'll see where we're at. But we got a big test. And like I said, there's no room for error. So it's a big challenge to start the year.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to close out with a question from Rick Stroud.
Tom, you talked about, this is going to be a collaboration. You had to learn the new terminology, all of that, new players, right? But you still, I talked to Bruce about this. He says, look, he has the ball. So as you run the offense, will it look dramatically different, or is it going to be, what Tom Brady does, which is good enough for 6 Super Bowl wins?
I think we're going to have to see as the year goes. I think you always have a plan or strategy, for we go into a particular game, and then we're going to, decide what we think we need to do that's going to work the best. So, I think I try to make football, relatively simple for me. If they're deep, throw it short. If they're short, throw it deep. If they're inside, throw it outside. If they're outside, throw it inside. If they're not guarding the run, you got to run it. If they're aggressive, you got to play action. It's just, I think the fundamentals of football really take shape. So, I think being a good quarterback is making good decisions, understanding risk reward, and I do have the football, so the team trusts me to do it. And, I've really enjoyed working with BA and understanding how he sees it, and with Byron. And it's been a lot of fun. I've working hard to get up to speed with everything. And, I think we're all excited to be able to compete against a real team, understanding that, nothing's going to be perfect for a long time, but we're going to work our tails off to get it right.
Thanks, Tom.
And that's all for today.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for taking the time.
I appreciate it.